Let's
This
get
conference will
started.
now be recorded.
All right, today is Thursday, October 11th, and we had one hell of an afternoon yesterday, and it carried on into the pre-market. Now, SQ, holy crap. I mean, this thing just just tanked, completely tanked as the we came into the aftermarket, and it wasn't on the greatest of volumes. So the fact that it's pulling back up during the pre-market is not shocking whatsoever. So coming up and looking at a few of the prints that we've had so far this morning, we've got some decent buying here and there. You can see at that 70 level we got some decent, but really what we're going to be looking for is that new buying as we're coming back up towards this 73 level. Now we jumped up to 73. We can see we didn't really get any type of prints. We have a few prints at 72.50 on the bid, but I'm not too worried about that. What I'm going to be looking for is that new buying, and we do have some decent new buying at 72.50. It's funny because I have a bunch of notes from yesterday. So we had bid 77, so I had a down arrow on SQ from 77, Facebook from 152, and AMD 25, and pretty much none of them are relevant except for AMD. So let's take a look at Facebook now as well. Moving over to Facebook, we can see that we same type of deal in the pre-market. I mean, it took a pretty big hit. So those bid prints that we had at 152 are certainly satisfied. I mean, we're talking about the stock moving all the way down to our pretty much that 148.50 level. And on its way back up, we could see at 150, we did have a few aspirants that came in, and then above 150, we definitely have some decent new buying that's coming back into there. So I expect to see a little bit of a recovery from all of what we saw coming into yesterday. I mean, we're talking about some really big moves that we saw. And as of right this second, like I said, we're seeing some decent new buying that's coming back in. I'm going to be expecting Facebook to pull back from that those 150 aspirants, and then we'll end up seeing it come back up. Logical spot, the first spot to be looking at would be that print line at 151.38. Next one looking at is AMD. So AMD, even though with pages and pages and pages of bid prints at that 25 level in the aftermarket, it continued on its way down. But we know we need to see this thing pull back up. So I'm going to be looking at AMD towards that long side first. Okay, keep in mind that the $1.20 for the amount of selling that we saw coming into there, it really is not enough, because if you look, I mean, we're talking about we had millions of shares coming in at that level. So I'm going to be expecting this to be able to pull back up, break above this 25 print line. The next logical spot, like I said, that I'll be looking at is 25.79. That's our next print line that we have above, and it's some pretty decent room coming in there. Now, do I overall still think AMD kind of goes down? Yes, I do, because of the amount of selling that we saw at that 25, but it just never pulled up from that 25 level, and so that's what I'm going to be anticipating happening once the market opens this morning. Trigger up, and I'm in. Other than that, we got some other stuff that's moving. Oh, let's talk about PayPal for a second. So PayPal, apparently, they're going to be working with Walmart. PayPal's not usually a very good day trade, to be completely honest. And even during the pre-market right now, we can see we didn't really get any type of prints there that really show us where it's looking to go. Now, I mean, overall, it's been a great move from 73.50 all the way up to 78.50. I mean, that's a drastic movement towards the upside. So I am going to put this one on our list, but I want to see some type of show of hand, because you know what? It's very odd for the amount of shares that it's trading. It's already got 171,000 shares, which we don't typically see in PayPal during the pre-market. So it's certainly going to be moving a lot more than we usually see it move. I mean, we should get better volume than we usually see, but just be careful of that, because I wouldn't be shocked to see just not really day trading type volume coming into it, because we do see that a lot. But overall, definitely, certainly something that we need to keep our eyes on. And then other than that, let's take a look at our scanners. Let's see what else we got going on out there. I was looking at it before. I wasn't really too happy with too many things. So CGen just not really doing anything, completely consolidating, moving to this, just nothing really there. HEAR, now this one's not bad. It's got very, very, very thin orders. We have 340,000 shares. We did get a print that came in at 2050 on that ask side. Is that enough to give us a show of hand? Well, the orders are very thin, so 1,500 shares is going to definitely show a reaction from the stock. I do want to see a lot more, but it's certainly worth watching, considering the fact that we're more than likely going to have a really big range on, in comparison to what it usually does. On average, trades 1.4 million shares, already has 341,000 being traded so far. Moving along, we have TRXC. 411,000 shares, but not really anything that I have any type of interest in, just absolute garbage trading. PIX, nothing there either. ACRX 425, absolutely nothing, and that's pretty much it. It's funny, I haven't looked at one of the airlines in a long time, but Dow's on the gainers list, but I mean, there's nothing really there for us to to do anything with. And then ABX, Barrick Gold up, but just nothing really there. Moving over to the loser side, we have SYN. We have 170,000 shares. Nothing going on there. IGC, it's moving, and we're going to keep our eyes on the pot stocks, but there's just nothing, nothing going on pre-market that is going to make me watch that over, like the SQ or an AMD or something of that nature. So ION and NIO, I know you just asked about it. We had this is interesting because we had some really good ask prints at the 8 level, okay, which told us it had to pull back. But then when it was coming to pull back, we had some really big selling that came in at that 775 level. So the selling at 775 was way bigger than the buying that we saw at that 8. So it's kind of in that limbo area where it doesn't really give us a clear definition of what it's going to be looking to do. And when something doesn't give me a clear definition, I look for something that does. So as of right now, can it go back above 8? It could. I mean, it should at some point, and it did take, a pretty decent hit from that selling at 775, but based off that amount of selling, I would have expected a little bit more. So we'll keep an eye on it, but there's just not enough there for me to really give any information on. I don't know. I'm going to need more information in order for me to be able to tell anything else. You can see the prints that came in this morning. We did some really good buying at the, towards the bottom. There's also some new selling that came back in, and I don't really see anything that came at that 750 to tell us that the stock has to go back up. I mean, you got a few prints here and there, but not really enough. You can see it's just a very mixed stock. So until it shows us something definitive, there's nothing I can do with it. LOW, let me take a look. So it had a nice move to the downside yesterday, but it's trading 4,000 shares this morning. So nothing that I can give any type of opinion on. All right, guys, anything else out there that I missed? JD, let's take a look. So, I mean, it's moving this morning, but if you look at the way that it is moving, I mean, it's just way too quanty. I mean, it's got good volume, don't get me wrong, but there's just, I don't see it. I mean, is it going to move today? Yeah, it will, but I don't see anything there that really has me, I have any type of interest in. It's too quanty within the way it's trading. You can see that there's just no real movement, no real trading that's coming back in. NBEV, I looked at that. I think we just went over that, but NBEV, I mean, it's just not doing anything as of right this second. I mean, you know what? It had selling yesterday at 6 that ended up coming down from, but there's just nothing really there for us to go on at this moment. We would need some type of new piece of information for us to be able to make any type of trade on it. All right, guys, so let's get ready for the morning. Remember, Thursdays have not really been great to us over the past few weeks. Thursday's pretty much been the worst day of the week. With actual movement, we've been seeing lots of consolidations. Now, hopefully, based off of everything that happened yesterday, we're going to see a lot of interest coming back into the market. We're going to see a lot of movement, but just keep that in mind. Thursdays have been a lot of consolidation. All right, guys, so I will talk to everyone in the chat, and happy trading.